Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Alex Fury here, back with another Outriders video. And today I want to talk about expeditions and my kind of pseudo tier list and thoughts on all the expeditions on T15. After I've completed them all yesterday on tier 15, I did this 2-player with my brother, and we did all of them except Eye of the Storm because that mission is ridiculous with the blade wielding guys. And I just want to give my thoughts on each of the missions, how they go, how long they take, how much damage you need to do, and just the overall feel of them, and kind of make like a pseudo kind of tier list for the missions. So we'll pop this up and I don't know if any of you know, but in this expedition, if you press the A button, you can see a list of all of the missions, the highest tier you've done them on, and your best time. So as you can see here, the first ranking I'll give everything is based on its time and how long it takes to complete, and then my second ranking will be on annoyance, and then we'll just give an overall ranking for that. So clearly you can see on time, Boomtown is by far the fastest. If you get a perfect run of Boomtown, Boomtown is just so fast, and the enemies aren't terrible. Like it's honestly the best. Like everybody knows, Boomtown is the best expedition. It's the fastest. The enemies aren't as annoying as any other mission, and it's very straightforward. You just have to have enough damage and you'll get a gold on this. And then the next fastest is Stargrave, which I've done at 5:59, so just under 6 minutes. This mission, I reckon, this is low key. I don't reckon a lot of people are doing this or know this. This is a good mission. You have it's all the beasts the whole run, and you got a large area to fight them in, and in most of the areas you can kind of sit back and then funnel them towards you, especially if you're playing on techno like I am. You can throw your blood turret down with the cryo buff and just have everything freezing while it runs into you, and you just shred it like that. Stargrave it's number 2 in my opinion. It is the second best, not just because it's fast, but it's also really easy, which also leads to why it's fast. What do we got here? We got something in 6 minutes? No, 7 minutes. We got Chemplant. Chemplant, once again, really good mission. It's just Boomtown 2.0. It's just a longer Boomtown because there's more just times you have to wait for doors to open. They really need to the door opening needs to either be faster or something. Like it's wastes so much time. Chemplant really good. There's the quotations elevator skip. That's not really a skip because that's how that combat scenario is supposed to be played. It clearly states in the objective to wait for the elevator. It doesn't say to kill all the enemies. Once you get enough damage, you can kill all the enemies before the elevator comes up anyways. So it's like, is it even worth it? And I put Chemplant at number 3. So Boomtown, Stargrave, Chemplant, and then my favorite map for a long time, which was the only one I could consistently clear on gold on tier 15, and what I just was resetting my game for to get when I was first pushing into tier 15, is Coliseum. Coliseum is such a good, easy map. So you spawn in at the start, and it's just like a long hallway, and the monsters are just running down a hallway, and you chuck your turret down, and you're just shooting fish in a barrel. And then you turn a corner and it's the same hallway and they're running down it again. And then you finally go into an actual room, but you can kind of move off to one side and create the same kind of choke point. And then the same in the next area, which you have a bit more freedom to kind of move around. And then the final encounter room is also quite nice, even though it's mostly monsters, because you fight a round of the human NPCs, there's also some cover, so you can kind of maneuver your way around that to screw over the monsters and hide from AoE attacks of certain aliens as well. This Coliseum is one of the most underrated maps, I reckon. This is what I ran exclusively when I first got the tier 15 to just be able to clear tier 15s, because I didn't have the DPS to do Boomtown fast enough, so I was just running Coliseum and then occasionally Stargrave if I could, but I was still getting like one hit on Stargrave. And then I moved into like Coliseum and Chemplant as the 2 I was doing solely because of when you don't have enough damage, you can do the skip in Chemplant, which actually makes it a lot easier. Let's talk about Mountain Outpost. Let's just go down the list from here, because honestly, the rest of them are like, meh. I'll throw out 2 massive just red tape. Just cross these ones off and just don't even attempt them on tier 15. It's not worth it. Freaking Frontline, the Moloch boss fight at the end of this is just awful. It's just awful. There's like this one area that kind of looks like it has a roof cover, and when he shoots his mortar attack, which you would think would come from the sky and be covered by the roof, and it doesn't. Like, it's just that combat scenario and arena, because it's in the trenches and there's like a lot of 3-dimensional space, you'll find yourself like backing away from someone shooting them on a techno anyways, and you just fall. And like, if you've played the game, you know that like falling off of any inclined surface just makes your character fucking useless for like 4 seconds, and then if you try and ADS too fast, you get the ADS glitch, and it's just a mess. Just don't do Frontline unless your build is perfect, and even then I'd still recommend avoiding it, because it's just painful. And then honestly, the next worst one is Paxian Homestead. The first 6 minutes or 4 minutes of this mission in the first area, getting to the boss room, are super nice, super fun. Love it, perfect. And the boss encounter is just horrendous. That freaking what's it called? The Brood Warper. That thing is so annoying, diverse, and can just one-shot you from across the map with the stupid things that shoots out of its belly. And then there's just so many other things happening as well to focus on. Like, it's a rough boss encounter. It's just avoid it. Just don't do Frontline and Paxian Homestead. Just avoid them. Mountain Outpost is really good till the boss encounter room, where there's birds. Any map that has the freaking birds is just immediately at the bottom of the tier lists, because the birds move too fast, too often, and their attacks are too frequent. The fact that they can do that AoE attack, which hits the whole map unless you're under them, and then immediately do the single line attack that goes basically over where you have to stand to dodge the first attack, and both of them can interrupt you, and if you don't have enough armor, one-shot you. And they do them back to back, like within seconds. It's just, that's a bad mechanic. The attack timers of enemies, it just needs to be rebalanced. But that, I'd put Mountain Outpost down at the bottom of the list. It's not a great map. It's good for most of it, but then the birds alone just can ruin it. Marshland Caverns is it's like a lot of mid-tier maps, like Marshland Caverns, Time Warden Spire, and then I'd say are on the same level of like, they're nothing special, there's nothing terrible. Heart of the Wild's got a couple of dodgy bits with the boss encounter at the end is kind of because it's on the ground's very uneven, so there's lots of times where you don't have an angle to shoot the enemy because of the elevation of the ground, and it's just a bit tedious to maneuver around. Archways is probably the best of these like swampy maps, the forest ones. Archways is definitely the best, solely because it's the fastest. They're all extremely similar. Marshlands, Archways, Time Worn, Heart of the Wild. If I was loaded into one and it didn't have the name, I wouldn't better tell you what map it is. It would just be one of the forest maps. They're all the same. Most of them have a pylon. I'm assuming Archways doesn't, is why it's so fast, or if it does, everything's just really weak. That's probably the best of those forest maps if you were stuck doing one of those forest maps. And then Drought Palace and Scorched Lands are both. Scorched Land is definitely better. Scorched Land is easier because the boss encounters are easier. The Drought Palace, the second last room where you have to kill the 5 like super captains who like walk out, the cool eyes don't look at explosions kind of thing. That's the hardest part of that. If you get past that, the boss encounter is an absolute piss take after that. But that second last room against them is really annoying. You have to maneuver a lot to fight one boss at a time, or maybe 2, because if you run in there and try and fight all 5, you're going to have a bad time. But yeah, it's better than Drought Palace. Scorched Land is better than Drought Palace. So overall, pretty much what I do, or what I have been doing for the most part when I just am trying to farm resources, is I'm trying to do a Boomtown, Chem Plant, Stargrave, Coliseum. They're your 4 maps to look out for. Pretty much anything outside of that, literally, if you get, I'll show you right now what you do. If you open your thing and you don't get Coliseum, where's Boomtown? Boomtown, Stargrave. What was the other one I said? Chemplant. And if you didn't get any, because I have Coliseum, I'd do this. But if you don't get any, literally just open this, go return to lobby, hit confirm, and then reload back into the game, and it'll give you a completely new list of maps. And honestly, this is what I did, and it is way worth it than or honestly, just load into a mission you don't want to do and return to lobby. And then boom, look, I've got Mountain Up, I've got Chemplant and Boomtown. I could run either of those. Or what you can do is you can load into a map you don't want to do. Excuse me. Obviously I'm not going to run this right now. I'm just going to show you. You can load into it and obviously wait for the long ass loading screen, because why wouldn't it be? And you just leave straight away and go back to the camp and you'll get new maps. Like, I would not recommend wasting any of your time or effort on those if it's not one of those 4 maps I listed, especially as a Technomancer. Maybe it's different on the other classes. I know that some of the tricksters I've played with and spoken to really dislike playing against the aliens, the monsters, and like playing against the human NPCs more. And then you get a whole different variance. Now I've got Coliseum again, so I could have done like Coliseum, then Boomtown, then Coliseum, and because there's 4 maps. There's like 4 maps and there's only 3 zones, so you're more than likely going to have one of the maps you want to do, and it's just nice that it's those 4 are easy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my like pseudo tier list and recommendations of expeditions to focus on that'll make your progression through the end game so much smoother and so much easier, especially if you're playing a Techno. I haven't got a lot of experience on the other characters yet. They're all level 30, but I haven't really pushed too far into the expeditions. But yeah, I'd just on a blanket neutral baseline value, those are the 4 missions I'd look out for. So Boomtown, everybody knows Boomtown. Chemplant, because it's basically Boomtown 2.0. And then Stargrave and Coliseum. Just do those maps and you'll be fine, and you'll be able to progress through the game at a much better clip than trying to force your way through these other just awful maps. But anyways, guys, if you like this video or found it informative and helpful, please let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments about your favorite maps and how they work with your class and what you like, missions you like to do. And please like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Outriders content from me, because I'll be making more videos in the future. Alright guys, peace.